Hi, I'm Joshua William Gelb. I wrote the book and some additional lyrics for Tully in no particular order.
And I'm Stephanie Johnstone. I did music, lyrics, and orchestrations.
And we're here to talk to you about this new musical.
Which we are excited will be in the New York Music Theater Festival in September.
Tully is about a man who has lost his memory, who's a poet, who has to go through his life's work, his life's writings, in order to piece his life back together. And of course the show is really what he discovers there, which is this life of scandalous love affairs.
Betrayals.
And ultimately, of course, it's a show really about falling into these patterns of self-destruction that we all fall into. Of course, the show is told in no particular order. Let's talk about characters. First, there's Tully. Tully is, of course, our hero, and our anti-hero, all at the same time. And he's confronted by any number of people, by the Buttes, who are the well-to-do of ancient Rome, the beautiful,
socialites.
Yeah, the heirs, the heiresses, and whatnot. Claude and Claudia.
Claudia is sort of the Paris Hilton of ancient Rome.
The incestuous duo, very sexy-like.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's also Tully's little group of friends, his little bohemian buddies. There's Quinn, his sister, and Cal, his brother-in-law. There's Julie, who's his young boy lover.
Of course, Rufus W.
And
Rufus.
who's our favorite.
He smells.
No, we can't say that, but he smells like a goat.
He does.
A lot.
The music of Tully is about 75% at times lush and at times simple and lovely chamber music. And the other 25% is jazz. And there are a couple of characters who own jazz in the show.
Buttes.
The Buttes, yes. I orchestrated it for piano, harp, 2 reeds, one that's flute and clarinet, one that's clarinet and bassoon, and percussion and cello. Josh and I met working on a production of Mystery of Edwin Drood, and we knew that we wanted to work on something together, but we met kind of over the course of a year to decide what that would be, talking about different ideas and concepts and styles that were important to us. And Josh had known of the poet Catullus from his high school Latin class, and he kind of brought that to the table.
Right?
It sure is. And I was very intrigued. And
well, who is Catullus? Catullus, of course, is the Roman poet who was alive around and about Julius Caesar's time. And he was actually a really young, down-to-earth, funny, sexy poet for his time. And I think I was really attracted to that in his poetry because it sounded so modern. And it was all autobiographical writings.
he was kind of one of the first.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely one of the first to just write about his life as it was. Of course, what's beautiful about the poems that we were really interested in writing a musical about is that when they were rediscovered in the 12th or 13th century, they were discovered out of order, so there was no chronology to the story of his life. And so we thought that was something really beautiful about a man having to put his own life back together from what he wrote, and knowing nothing else about his life, but just finding himself through his poetry.
Which is kind of was our in
It
to
resonates.
it in what is.
I'm an amnesiac.
We had our first reading of our very first draft of Tully in the fall of '05, and for that draft we kind of followed our initial impulses and we're excited about what we were finding. Our second draft really sucked. And we kind of tried to clean up everything by stuffing the show into a box that it did not seem to want to go into.
We made it linear.
Totally linear, and tried to make it like about only one thing and follow all these rules and came up with something that we...
The Rodgers and Hammerstein version of
Yeah.
Catullus.
Yeah, we hated it. It was totally uninspiring. We weren't excited by it at all. So, for our third draft, which was at Theater for the New City in a workshop in December, we kind of came back home to something closer to the first draft, but having lived with the material for so long, we have made it better. And it's just a tweaked version of that draft, which will be in...
Yeah, if you've watched all this, you might as well come see the show. We promise we didn't give it all away. It's going to be great. It's funny and
yet heart-wrenching.
sexy. And, well, we look forward to seeing you there.